Hey guys, so today I'm going to go over the basics on how to tie a fly to a fly rod, as well as just the basic techniques in casting this. So just a little bit about the rod and the reel itself. So the reel, this green line here, is what we call the fishing line, and underneath this green line is this wool about 25 extra feet, and that's the backing, which attaches the fishing line to the reel. And the nice thing about the backing is it provides extra strength for the fishing line, so if you hook into a big fish, it gives you a little bit more support, as well as if this fish takes out more and more line, the backing will give you a couple extra feet to fight the fish with. And as you go down the fishing line, this green line is attached to, let me show you guys here, it's attached to a clear line which is called the leader, and the leader right now is pretty thick, and as you go down the line it gets thinner because the fish won't be able to see this thin line sitting on top of the water. And that's obviously the goal, is because you want the fish to just see this fly here that you're casting onto the water. And the nice thing about practicing with the fly rod is that you are actually casting the weight of this green line, and you're not actually casting the weight of the fly, because the flies weigh from not even a full ounce, so you're really not getting any distance with the fly. You're casting the weight of this line, which makes it nice because you can practice without tying on a fly and worrying about losing it or things like that. And the nice thing about this is that you can practice in essentially any open field. You don't have to be on the water. And let me show you the basics here on how to cast this. So a lot of the videos that you look up will teach you an extremely technical version, and which is good, but there are many ways to do it, and the big thing is, as long as you're comfortable, that's what's important. I like to keep my rod like this with my finger out here, just gives me a little bit more control on the casting. So basically all you're going to do is you bring it back and you whip it forward. You bring it back and you throw it forward. It's good to leave a little bit of pause on your drawback, because otherwise you snap off the fly if you don't let it come back all the way. And then if you want to make a further cast, all you do here, you pull out some more line, drop back, go forward, drop back, and go forward, and then that line that you just pulled out is now out there. So if you want to make a far cast, then you can do that no problem. And then once you get a little bit better with your casting, you can then practice your directions with it. I like to set up a piece of cardboard just out on the lawn, and it kind of just helps you with your direction. And if I want to go to the right, I throw it over to the right, and it just really helps your casting, and it makes it nice that you don't have to have a lot of room to work on your casting. So a lot of the basics is, a lot of the people will say you want to go back to 10 o'clock and go forward to 2. Go back to 10, go forward to 2, and you just repeat that action. And it's a process between using your shoulder as well as your wrist. Now you don't want to use just wrist, because then you whip the fly off and it's a little too aggressive, and you don't want to lose those flies, because those flies range from anywhere between $4 to $5. It's expensive. So now I'm going to go over the basics on how to tie a fly to the line itself. So what you're going to want to do is grab any one of your flies, and usually when you're out there fishing, they tell you to look up what is hatching. So there are different flies will have different colors to them, different feathers, and things like that. So just to grab any one here to show you guys, let's say we grab this one. All you're going to do here, it's very simple. There's a little eyelid. It's hard to see on the camera, but there's a little eyelid, and all you're going to do is you're going to send this line through the eyelid one time. See if I can get it here. You need glasses, it seems like. So all we're going to do is get this fly send the line straight through it. And now that it's through, just like that, we're gonna drag it down a little bit. And now, very simple, all you're gonna do is bring it up like this in a loop, and then you're gonna grab a pair of your pliers. And all you're gonna do here is put your pliers through this loop. You're gonna make 5 to 6 twists with it. And then once you do that, you're gonna grab the extra string, pulling off right here with your line. And then all you do here, you pull it tight, and boom. And then you cut off this excess line here because you don't want the fish to see this extra line coming off, and you have your fly knotted on to your fly line. So that's basically the basics on casting and tying the knot. The more people you talk to, depending on who you talk to, they're going to tell you you need to do step 1, 2, 3, and 4, otherwise you're not going to catch a fish. While yes, when you get into the more extreme places, that's true. However, with your basics, all you need to remember is your basic 10 to 2. Don't whip it too hard. However, you do want to give a little pause on your way back and casting forward. Other than that, it's a pretty fun and interesting thing to get into because it allows you to get to areas that you would not be able to with a rod and reel or a bait caster, and it allows you to fish for the smaller fish, which sometimes people are like, well, why would you fish for smaller fish? The wild trout in certain rivers, they don't get very big, but they have beautiful colors on them, and this fly fishing will allow you to get into those smaller areas and catch those pretty looking trout. Thank you.